Hello, this is Cody Carlson doing this case study for EDL 856. Brief summary of the case study. We know that a school lacks parent involvement, and it's been going on for quite a long time. Principal has been there for years and has just accepted the fact that parents aren't going to be involved and he's going to do everything himself. Then a young principal, assistant principal, comes in and wants to rejuvenate the parent organization. The head principal starts off by not being a fan of it, but agrees to give her a potential meeting for an advisory group. And then the night of the meeting, there was poor attendance from the parents. So what do we know? John F. Kennedy School, the principal's been there for years. There's a new assistant principal, and we lack parent and community involvement. Mrs. Rose is the new assistant principal. She decided to get started. She's a first-year administrator, and she just finished her degree in the summer. Her last class was actually this class, School Community Relations. So she believes that for school success, parent and community involvement is key. And starting a parent, and we know that the school is starting a parents advisory group. The parents were given a week's notice. They sent home a note with the students, give to their parents. Meeting is scheduled for Monday night at 7:30 p.m. and only 8 parents showed up that night in the auditorium. What do we need to know? We need to know what type of communication strategies does JFK use. Did the invitations actually really get to the kids? That's what I thought when I first read this. Do they use any other type of communication strategy other than just sending hard copy notes home with the students? I don't think that's a very easy and efficient way to do it. Do they have social media apps? Do they call parents or use email? We also need to know what the community is like. Are there a lot of single family houses? Are parents staying and working long hours? Or are there a lot of stay-at-home parents? Just like what kind of size of school is it? Is it a big school? Is it K through 12 in one building? Is it a big city, a small town? And does this area support and rally behind the school? And then we're going to find out eventually in the meeting with my plan, but what's keeping parents from getting involved? Is it available time? Is it the lack of leadership? Or do they just not care at all? And then I'd like to know past history with previous organization. What about the principal and his past attempts of parent involvement? What kind of strategies did he use? How much effort did he really try and get these parents to be involved? Or is he the issue? Did he cause some sort of issue where parents no longer want to work with him? Or was there a crisis kind of scandal happen with parents and just kind of dissolved? Or I'd like to know what caused the organization to fall apart. Problem identification, I got 3 of them. Obviously, number 1 is I think parent and community communication is subpar. We're unable to get information to parents. JFK lacks the ability to communicate with any stakeholder, and there's no promotion of successes of our students. I think the principal is an old school type of guy, especially when it comes to thinking of parent community involvement. Years ago he failed, so he doesn't think he needs to try again. And then we know that there's lack of involvement from parent and community. There's only 8 parents that showed up, and just from the history in the past, there's slim to none. Category 2, my plan. Step 1, we're going to start, since this case study ended with us deciding whether to continue with the meeting, we are going to proceed with the meeting. Who's here is there, and they're genuinely interested. They're going to be the leaders of this organization, and this is an opportunity for me to share my vision of what this organization is going to be like and emphasize the importance of this organization. And then I'm going to use this time to collect information from all of our parents, get a little insight of what the perspective is from our parents and our community towards our school, and just hopefully give them a survey, and we'll have opinions from the masses so we can move forward. And then together we can set goals for this organization and kind of create an identity and have a realistic start. And then before we leave, I'm going to beg them to go recruit more of their parent friends. Step 2, starting with parent communication. That obviously starts with our building leaders and our admin. We're looking to build some trust from our parents and our entire school. That's going to happen through increased communication. We must be friendly, but we also have to stay ethical and professional during these times of conversations. And then we are going to really push our parent-teacher communication. We're going to increase positive communication, I guess you would say. We're going to send positive phone calls home, and a lot of these teachers may not know exactly what to do. So we're going to provide some resources, some scripts, examples of opportunities when to do it. We're going to see who's actually doing this in our building already, and they can be the leaders and help tell everybody how they do it, and we can all improve on this. Same thing with community communication. We know that this level of involvement is a way bigger issue than just with the parents. We like communication with all stakeholders as well as relationships with everybody. We're going to communicate. We're going to start the process by increasing this communication and just getting out to the public, being visible, letting them know that we want their support. I'm going to do this by creating social media accounts for our entire school. Hopefully, all of our teachers will be able to have their own account as well as clubs and organizations. So now all of our content's out there for everybody to see. We'll send weekly newsletters home. We'll have students of the week. We'll have important reminders, and we'll just promote our school through social media, also through videos. I'm sure, in my mind, we're saying that we have a video program at JFK, and they're going to make promotional videos, and we're going to be able to just blast out positive successes of our students as well as the local newspaper. Step 4, relationship building. We talked about the communication side. Hopefully that goes to creating relationships. We're going to be approachable. We're going to go start conversations. Get myself out there as an assistant principal and just try and make a relationship, especially with our community businesses. I think creating a program with these local businesses for upperclassmen will keep our students in this town and be able to provide them job opportunities out of high school for some of our students that are not going to go to college. This would include job shadowing, luncheons, sponsorships, and just creating that relationship. And then as well as parent-teacher relationships. We got to set the standard and just look to increase opportunities to build these relationships. I think with communication, parent relationships will go up. And then step 5, once we're starting to build this parent organization, I'm not going to have to this parent organization, I'm going to have to delegate and trust and just provide guidance and leadership. This new territory for the organization, hopefully someone will step up and want to run it. We have to remember to start slow. When you're creating anything from scratch, you must have patience. And we're going to use our resources. I'm a new admin. We haven't done this in a while. I'm going to communicate with area schools and just see how they're running their stuff, and then make sure we have positive relationships with the leaders of this organization. Category 3, promoting the academic success and personal well-being of every student. I help teachers to communicate properly with parents. We know that positively improves student success. I extended communication to the community. Promoting the positives of our school will allow our community members to see the great things being accomplished at JFK. All students being recognized for their accomplishments will boost the school morale as well. And then increase support from the parent organization, allowing the building leaders to now focus more on the students as the PTO takes over some of the little tasks that take up time, where we're not able to spend all of our energy on our student success. Category 4, through this case study, I thought that the parent turnout wasn't bad. Having 8 parents, those are going to be our leaders. Not always, when you're trying to start something new, is having a large group what you want. Sometimes that turns into having too many chiefs, and then heck, there could have been nobody show up or 2 people. 8's not a bad number. And then I thought our principal was an old school guy who's hesitant to change, but he was able to delegate to Mrs. Rose, and she's going to revive the school. And then I thought for sure our lack of communication strategies started this entire downhill slide. And since that, JFK wasn't doing anything new that they weren't doing when this principal started, probably in the 80s. I felt proud of Mrs. Rose. She showed perseverance She didn't let that principal's first no stop her from what she believed, which is that parent organizations and involvement is vital to school success. And I also felt hope for the parent organization to make a comeback. I feel like our plan in place is going to be great, and we got people willing to offer their support. I valued the 8 parents that showed up. They're willing to sacrifice their time. I don't know who thought it was a good idea to have a meeting Monday at 7:30 p.m., but they decided that they were willing to sacrifice their time to come show up, and they're motivated to start this organization again. So valued them. As this whole thing went through, I really valued teamwork. No matter if you're starting a new thing in the school with the teachers and the communication, or if we're starting this PTO organization, teamwork is going to be vital to starting anything new. And then I valued my principal for trusting and supporting my abilities to improve our relationship with the community. Unresolved issues. Do any of the parents have any previous experience that showed up out of those 8? Are the 8 people going to be able to recruit more parents, or is it just going to be us 8? Will the teachers actually support the principal in her plan to improve communication? How many teachers are tech savvy enough to have a social media account to start with? I mean, the plan's good in theory, but are they going to be able to do it, or are they just, this is way over their head? And then will the businesses in the community be willing to work with the school, or were those bridges burned a long time ago? As well as, will the principal continue to support the plan ahead? Reflection of Standard 7, Component 1, promote the academic success of every student. I increased parent involvement, which we know is related to increased student success. I also provided professional development for increased parent communication. Parents informed of their child's educational journey will then create a same team mentality, and we will all be more successful that way. And then parent organization will provide financial backing for our updated resources eventually. So then our teachers will then be able to update their technology use in their classroom, which then leads to student success. Component 2, promote the personal well-being of every student. Through positive parent communication, we're going to emphasize as we emphasize the positives of JFK, this is going to promote a positive learning environment. We're also going to foster parent-student relationships. Increased attention to their child's education will provide more conversations at home, which then as a student, they'll feel more supported. And then developing school community relations. This increased promotional content of student success will then lead to students feeling that their community supports them. Component 3, promote communities of engagement for families and other stakeholders. I revived the parent organization. Parents, once again, will be involved. School community business relationship. These relationships will promote engagements that will benefit students, especially upperclassmen, as I spoke earlier. And our social media promotion, all stakeholders will be able to see the successes of our students. These are my standards, and that is my case study. Thank you.